What's a new trend that's doing a lot damage that people don't realize? Steroid use is becoming increasingly popular among teenage boys and young men. Social media is feeding them metric tons of fitfluencers that lie about their steroid use, feeding into the "why can't I be like them" pipeline that ends up with them hopping on. Hell, a few months into weightlifting myself and I was literally getting ads for steroids right on Reddit. Some years from now, I guarantee we'll start seeing these boys grow with serious health issues from using steroids at a very vulnerable age. Posting children and all their personal, emotional, and vulnerable moments. People are literally pimping children for karma and followers. Crying children. Dying children. Naughty children. Confused children. Humiliated children. People are censoring themselves to get around algorithms, making it difficult to talk about serious subjects like suicide, sexual assault, death, and drugs. It's all self-deletion, grape, unalive, /*gs and such. And the self-censorship is bleeding into other platforms and venues where there aren't any restrictions in the first place because it becomes habit. With the censorship comes the watering down of important conversations around such topics. Posting everything on social media. I used to post a lot on stories on Instagram, WhatsApp. At some point I started to think that no one actually cares what I post and it's pointless for me, so I stopped. I was checking who saw those posts, got annoyed when someone I didn't like watched my stories. Now I don't post on social media anymore and I'm happier. Hauls of just about anything. It's incredibly wasteful and I imagine most influencers who do so can't use all of that product before they're pressured to make more content. Plus it encourages normal people to do the same, leading to lots of plastic waste and demand for cheap, unethical labor. Using therapy speak to justify toxic behavior. It's making it difficult for people with actual issues being taken seriously when someone who has likely never seen a therapist uses medical terminology to explain why they're allowed to be assholes in public. Subscription models for every service. Gone are the days of curated collections, now you own nothing. I think destigmatizing mental health is great. I think all the self-diagnoses and hyper-acceptance where it's used as justification for shitty, lazy, or entitled behavior is not. I'm sorry to people who are truly struggling, but you still need to take responsibility for your mental health and put effort into trying to grow and heal. In 1 to 2 generations we've completely given up our privacy, and willingly. Society made a devil's bargain giving it up for shiny tech and it hasn't been worth it. And now with AI we'll have individualized AI agents. Just like with the cloud, they'll be hosted and will have all your most private information. Heaven forbid you're allowed to host it yourself and keep your own data. Can't have that. Celebrity tequila. More specifically the process of hydrolysis that use young agave plants instead of mature agave plants, creating a neutral alcohol that is then flavored with additives. This brings the price of agave up and customers are given an artificial tequila rather than traditionally made tequila that uses agave plants matured for 7 years. Consumerism culture. One person does not need 20 cups just because they're different colors, but somehow social media has convinced us to buy 20 cups in different colors that either end up sitting in a cabinet collecting dust or in a landfill. Health/wellness influencers. Can't exactly say if this a new trend, but a good chunk of these people have not the slightest clue about what they're yapping about, yet somehow they're able to amass millions of followers. Helicopter parenting. Kids grow up unable to problem solve, self-soothe, make decisions, meet new people, communicate with bosses or professors, just basic stuff. I know parents who won't let their kids learn to drive because they think 16 is too young. But at 18 they're going to punt these kids off to college who have been told their whole lives that every stranger wants to kidnap, rape, or murder them, that walking after dark is life-threatening, and now they're going to room with a stranger, on a campus full of strangers, and walk to and from class, sometimes after dark. There's a reason so many young adults have anxiety disorders. I know people in their 20s who have panic attacks when faced with calling to make a doctor appointment. iPads for toddlers. Let's destroy our kids' dopamine receptors before they can even talk properly. Sounds great. Well, I live in the Canadian Rockies, and there are an awful lot of tourists who get themselves hurt or stranded trying to get Instagram pics beside waterfalls or precipices. Filters. Photoshopping to make yourself unrealistically thin. I feel like this is really gonna make the younger generations look up to and want something that is simply unattainable, causing depression and self-loathing. It's sad. The Botox/filler trend for younger women. It's already a lot to deal with. Imagine growing up with social media, but I can't imagine being younger right now with also the easy access to fillers and Botox. It seems to revolve around this concept of maintain your youth, but honestly it just makes younger women look like the older women who use it to look younger, if that makes any sense. Now these young teenagers to 20-year-olds look like 40 to 50-year-olds trying to look 30. AirPods in constantly. I have a feeling in 20 years we're going to see a lot of hearing damage in people too young to have it. The army of influencers who preach that success depends solely on your efforts. That's not how the world works.